Well, as it turned out, we actually got ending B. Not the best ending. We got truth and justice. See, here's the thing. When we had the choice to save or kill Cunningham at the beginning of the game, we chose to be the nice guy, so it raises our score. We have like a secret score that the game keeps, kind of like your morality meter. But here's the thing. Killing incapacitated creatures lowers your score. And I've been finishing off every damn monster I encountered. So, as it turns out, I ended the game with a negative score. So we did the right thing, but we had a dark ending with Cunningham herself. Here's what happens if we had a high morality score and we spare Cunningham. You get the same flashback with Sewell. You get the same scene where Cunningham herself forgives you. Here's the end of that scene, and then the unique bit after that, which is the ending called Forgiveness.
So sorry.
I forgive you.
Oh, a little different this time, which makes sense.
Do you copy? Wow, County Search and Rescue to Officer Cunningham. Do you copy? Over.
They didn't ask if we were free.
This is Cunningham. I copy. Over.
What's your 20, Cunningham? We've got half the department out looking for you. Over.
I'm okay. I'm on the shore of a lake somewhere. Afraid I can't be more specific than that. Over.
Roger. We'll send the bird sweep the shore again. We've located everyone except for one, Pendleton Murphy. You got a 20 on Pendleton, over?
I'm guessing she's gonna say no.
Negative.
Mm-hmm.
Pendleton's dead. Over.
Roger that.
You gonna be okay?
You better go.
Oh, there you go. Just straight up forgiveness and no revenge. Now the next ending, ending C, is what happens if you have a high morality meter, but you turn things around and kill Cunningham in the end. This ending is called Full Circle. Oh boy, here it comes. Yeah. So this time the flashback ought to be different, huh?
I'm sorry, Frank.
We are the bastard. Now this is called Full Circle. What does that mean? Is someone gonna kill us, or is Cunningham the last link? We might have to kill ourselves. Uh-huh. Here it comes. On the other hand, though, this is the good bad ending, so I don't know. Hmm? Ooh. Well, there's a better look at Frank, huh? Or not.
For me, I got mail to deliver.
I can't even tell you how long it's been just spinning record after record after record. Hoping someone...
And we're the ones who decide if we can live with what we've done.
Yeah, those three guys we met. What's up with that?
Wait. Stop! This is all wrong. Please.
Huh? I didn't expect that.
Stop.
I'm not sure I understand that one. What was the deal with Rix, the mailman, and that guy who killed himself? Are we still destined to just have a terrible time? I don't know. Now, the last regular ending is if you have a low morality meter and you kill Cunningham. This would have been the ending I had gotten if I chose to kill her. The worst normal ending. It's called Execution.
Assembled here to witness the state's execution of Murphy Pendleton,
Sweet.
sentenced for the murder of his 7-year-old son.
Ooh.
The couple had divorced 4 years earlier, and prosecutors believe Pendleton drowned his son Charlie in retaliation for his ex-wife seeking sole custody. More recently, Pendleton was tried and convicted for the murder of decorated officer Frank Coleridge during a Ryle State prison riot, which expedited Pendleton's execution sentence amidst public furor.
Wow, so look at that guy. Stone cold.
This is it, Pendleton. Any last words?
Yeah. I'll see you in hell. Cupcake.
Oh, wow. So Cunningham's not dead, which means that we simply failed Silent Hill's test. I guess this is the result. Straight up. Now there's one last ending in the game. See, there's A, B, C, and D, the strange ending we got for simply dying during the finale, but there's one more. I had mentioned that there were those blue candles on some barrels earlier in the game, and that's a New Game Plus thing only. What you need is for a shovel, or you need is to dig these things up with a shovel item. If you complete that side quest, then you get ending F, which is called Surprise! Well, you got my attention. Oh, are we digging our way out of prison? There's something I hadn't considered. But where are we gonna come out? That's the question.
Such a shame. Here be monsters again. Here be monsters again. Surprise!
What? Is that Laura from Silent Hill 2?
Oh, you guys.
Nurses from Silent Hill 2? What the? Whoa. And it's the classic version too. And Heather. What the hell? What is he gonna do? Rape the cake? Nice. And there's James on the left. And he looks like a Silent Hill 2 version. That's freaking great. That's genius. Well, there you have it. We have completed Silent Hill Downpour, and therefore, we have also completed the Silent Hill series. Again. Well, what do I think about Downpour? I really enjoyed the game. It does have some glaring flaws that leave obvious room for improvement. For example, well, not the least of which I guess was the stutter, the horrible frame skipping, especially in outer areas of the game, and a bit when you save, when it autosaves, but I guess that's inevitable. What kind of bothered me a little bit were that the enemies felt very samey. The brawlers and the stabbers were the same thing, except one of them had a knife and one didn't. The juggernauts were big brawlers, and even the screamers, while they looked different and they had a different attack, they still had a thing where they kind of rushed at you and punched, and every monster in the game did that. I'd say the most unique monsters were the white bats, the big white things that jumped out of the ceiling every once in a while and tried to drop down on you, and the dolls. Oh, I loved the dolls. The dolls were this game's version of the mannequin, and they had a very unique form of attacking by sending those shadows after you. Although they kind of came and went. You didn't really see them after the 1 or 2 dungeons they were in. I guess that does make sense, though. The prison would have the prisoner enemies. Okay, fair enough. Not going to argue with that. The screamers also kind of vanished, except for little key parts. But still, the monsters felt rather samey, and the white bats didn't really feel like Silent Hill monsters. They felt like monsters. They could have been in any survival horror game, and they would have blended in just fine. It didn't really feel Silent Hill-y to me. But overall, the combat was rather fun. Once I learned that monsters can block, you have to kind of tap them and back away. So it did get to the point where I became decent with a melee weapon, although guns were rather useful. I just didn't really exploit them until later, because I usually didn't really have a need to. The town itself, I really enjoyed. You could get around more easily through the subway tunnels if you give the bum those things he wants. I didn't complete any of the side quests, so I missed a lot of the game. Not a lot of crucial parts of the game, just a lot of flavor. And speaking of which, the hub, the town area, the outside, was really kind of side quest zone. You never really needed to do anything other than go from one dungeon directly to the next. In Silent Hill 1, you would stop by the church for Dahlia. In Silent Hill 2, you'd stop off at the Bolorama. In Silent Hill 3, you'd stop off at the motel. But here, it was kind of, oh, you want to go to the next dungeon? You could do that. Just right now. There was never really any need to explore. It was really just whether you wanted to complete side quests for personal satisfaction, and sometimes for healing items and weapons. Some of the side quests had decent weapons. For example, completing the painting side quest, I think, gives you a tomahawk, which is just amusing to me, I guess. I really do think that this atmosphere was the best of maybe any Silent Hill game. I might get crucified for that one, but I really do stand by that, mainly the indoor environments. I think that Silent Hill 1 through 3, and I would say Homecoming as well, had better atmosphere in terms of walking around the streets, but inside buildings, oh my god, there was just dread anywhere I went. The one thing that took away from it in Downpour was that non-dungeon buildings, unless they were part of a side quest, just would not have monsters. You saw me play through this. I was afraid every time I entered a building, and after a point I'm like, oh, there's just never going to be a threat in buildings. Alright, well, now I know. And now I can be safe whenever I enter a building, even though they look freaking terrifying. Still, that aside, the atmosphere is brilliant. And one thing I will say is, the thing that compensates for the overworld portion of the game when you're on the streets, when it starts raining, and then really heavily raining, and then lightning everywhere, that was a cool effect, and it was legitimately intimidating. Not just because, ooh, thunder or lightning is scary, but because it actually will produce monsters and make them a little more aggressive. Some of those things chase me for like a block. That's pretty far in terms of this game. Usually they give up after you're, I don't know, any distance away from them. But these things were trying to run me down. Also, those patrol cars. This game did a great job of instilling a sense of fear and dread whenever you were in an unexplored zone, so I very much enjoy that. The flashlight, it was kind of annoying that it didn't light up nearly enough, but on the other hand, that's kind of the point. It was rather focused, so you still might have things lurking in the shadows, which was a rather cool effect. See also the lighter. The UV light, I really thought it was going to be something corny, like the find secrets device in the game. I thought it would be something like, I don't know, like Helios's head in God of War, where it's like, there seems to be a blank wall here. But wait, but no, the UV light was actually implemented very well. It did have some flavor on the wall every once in a while if you really felt like playing the whole game through with it. But there were instances where you needed to use it to find codes and everything, so it actually had function, along with the God of War things. The God of War 3 did implement Helios's head pretty well sometimes, but that was one of those games where I was afraid it would be like that one thing in Super Metroid where you have to scour every damn place in the whole game so you could find everything. But, no, it actually worked rather well here. I liked it. And one of my favorite things about Downpour was, that it called back to literally every other Silent Hill game. I guess arcade aside, because that one's guide, and let's not even go there. But Silent Hill 1, it had the theme song, straight up. Silent Hill 2, your green jacket looked kind of like James's. That might be a bit of a stretch, but some of my viewers pointed out that a certain parking lot in the area looked just like the one at the start of Silent Hill 2, which is pretty cool. There was Silent Hill 3, very similar to Silent Hill 1. Also, you had the red void chasing you through the other worlds, just like the red mist in the haunted house. Also, stomping or whacking monsters with weapons would not instantly kill them if they're down. Silent Hill 3 implemented that. Silent Hill 4, you just found Henry's room. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Silent Hill 5. Homecoming, there was just a picture of Shepard's house, straight up, and the general playstyle felt more like Homecoming. It would go to third-person shooter mode when you break out guns, things of that sort, and it was also more combat-oriented. And Shattered Memories, the run away from the Red Void parts, the actual escaping and pulling down of obstacles, that felt very Shattered Memories-ish. So that was really sweet. Things that I didn't think worked very well was, oh, and also the joke ending. There was just Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 characters just in the joke ending, straight up. Got a kick out of that. And they looked like they did in their old games, too. That greatly pleased me. But I digress. Things I didn't think worked very well was the elevator portion toward the end of the game, where you're going down 3 floors, stopping, and enemies came out. I expected that in Streets of Rage, not Silent Hill, so that felt a little out of place, but it was very brief, and it didn't throw enemies at you, so that was forgivable. It just felt a little awkward. Also, degradable weapons kind of worked, but you could encounter some things like piles of bricks, which are just infinite spawn points for bricks, that felt a little strange. I did like the implementation of the axes, the fire pokers, things like that, that you had. They weren't just different weapons, they actually had functions, like in Homecoming. That was kind of nice. And the game wasn't a dick about it. If you needed it, it was right there. It was just kind of hinting it to you. The fact that I dropped the hint was my own fault. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. A call out to Silent Hill Origins, hello. Was directly that you found Travis's truck in the game, as well as the turning the play real. And I screwed this up during my Let's Play. I said that you brought Macbeth to life in Origins. No, you brought the Tempest to life. That was my fault. In here, it wasn't Shakespeare, it was Hansel and Gretel. But, oh man, once again, that atmosphere. Very well done. I love it. Also, I thought there was one other thing that I didn't felt jived very well with the game. The elevator portion felt a little weird. Oh, yes! In Silent Hill 2, the symbolism was pretty deep. It was only really on consecutive playthroughs that you'd really start to pick up what was going on. In Silent Hill Downpour, parts were kept rather vague, but then they just kind of told you what was going on. Like the final boss, they were like, oh yeah, that would be Officer Coleridge. Oh, alright. Like, they just kind of spelled things out for you at the end. So, I don't know. I don't know if it really cheapened the whole feel of it, but when the game just straight up is explaining its symbolism to you, it kind of doesn't become symbolism anymore. It's just a thing that resembles another thing, and the game's just like, nah, here's what was happening. Oh, alright. It's kind of like the Silent Hill movie in that regard, because the majority of people who viewed that movie hadn't played the game, so they just exposited the plot toward the end, and that was kind of corny for those of us who did play the games, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Oh, and speaking of things you didn't quite understand, in the video for the ending C, I believe, Full Circle, when you start up in prison again, and you leave, and you hear the DJ talking, you hear that guy who killed himself talking, you hear the mailman talking. I guess it's just kind of like you have to do everything again. You messed up, you don't understand, try it one more time. Like everyone else is looping, DJ Ricks is forced to continuously play songs, mailman's always delivering mail, you're doing this. Sucks to be you. One thing I don't get, though, is why DJ Ricks and the mailman were there. The guy who killed himself, I can see. They directly pointed out how he was relevant. I guess DJ Ricks might have been Ricks, the guy in prison. The guy who was leaving those notes with all the F-bombs in them. Like, I think I might have finally found a way out of here. So then they caught him, made him be the DJ, and then he thought he finally went out of here when you met him, but nope, he's still not learning, not gonna get it. The mailman, though, I just don't understand. Who is he? Where did he come from? Why is he here? Why is he delivering mail? There's probably something in the game that explains that, and I just missed it. Because I missed the DJ Ricks things, too. Commenters, like, explain what happened, and I flaked on that one. And the guy who killed himself was much more obvious. The game just tells you this, like, in plain English. The mailman, though, I missed. I didn't understand his significance. I don't know. Maybe he was another prisoner or something? Ricks was a prisoner. I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm sure there's something about him, so it's probably okay. As for the endings themselves, our ending was quite good, although Cunningham's revenge might have left a bad taste in your mouth as much as Sewell deserved what he got. There's the straight forgiveness ending, there's the full circle depressing ending, there's the you're executed ending. The joke ending is a joke ending, but the you failed at killing Cunningham ending, or catching Cunningham, when she's the inmate and Murphy's the officer? I don't know. I mean, that wasn't the ending that was supposed to happen, but it is a little weird. Like, was this whole game actually from Cunningham's perspective and not Murphy's? If you get that ending, that kind of gums up the whole works there, although it is a rather interesting thing to think about. I don't know. Overall, though, this game has some very obvious flaws. That's going to happen in most games. I really thought that the good outweighed the bad in this one. I had fun playing Silent Hill Downpour. If it weren't for the exceedingly long loading times, then I would have an even more fun time playing it. There's definitely a lot of replay value here. Tons of side quests, the other 5 endings to get. The reverse ending wasn't really supposed to happen. You saw I got an achievement for ending B, so there's ones for endings A, C, D, and the joke ending E. The reverse ending was just kind of like a glorified game over screen, really. It's almost an ending. It's like Fatal Frame 2's Escape the Town ending. It's like, that was a game over. You shouldn't have done that. So there's definitely 4 other endings to get. Probably weapons and costumes to unlock or something like that. Every other Silent Hill game had one, so why not this one? I had a blast. I really did. So thank you all so much for watching and tolerating my really long rambling speech right now, and once again for tolerating my miserable lack of a sense of direction in Silent Hill games, because oh boy do I have that. At least this time on a map that worked. Unlike Shattered Memories. Oh god. And I would also like to give a special thanks to the people who submitted their title cards to me. So, in order of submission and therefore order of appearance, special thanks to Jack Frost, Kachek's Party, Fallen Bane, and Zorgoff. Thank you all so much for your awesome work, and thank all of you viewers once again for putting up with my general ineptitude when it comes to navigation. I do have a lot of that problem, don't I? Oh well. Well, now that the Silent Hill series is done, I know there's another one coming out for the Vita, but it's very unlikely that I'll play that, as I don't own a handheld system, and that game sounds weird anyway. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next game I'm playing, though, I've definitely been looking forward to. It's a really sweet one, so I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, everyone.